Hello, my name is Ryan Wickham, and welcome to another episode of BTS with Ryan Wickham. As we all know, last week's episode of BTS was an urgent plea to find Terry Trafford of the OHL Saginaw Spirit. He was then listed as a missing person. Sadly and most tragically, we learned later that day that Terry had succumbed to the effects of his depression and had committed suicide, and that is an absolute travesty to his parents, his mother, his father, his siblings, his girlfriend, his teammates, his family, everywhere, his extended family, and everyone and anyone who was blessed enough to have their life touched by this young man, Terry Trafford. Please accept my most sincere condolences. My prayers and my thoughts are always with you. Today's episode is devoted to Terry Trafford and is about suicide prevention, because I feel that in every tragic event and travesty, there's the opportunity for rebirth, for growth, for inspiration to prevent that tragedy from reoccurring down the line with others. As we speak, my life is a dream come true in so many respects. I have a very successful career as a published author, of a very loving family. My mother, who had experienced some serious heart issues in previous years, is now very, very healthy and well. I'm engaged to the most wonderful woman in the world, who I'll be marrying in September. The list of blessings goes on and on and on. But over 2 years ago, my suicide attempt was thwarted only last minute. And in that opportunity, I received a long enough minute, so to speak, to realize that suicide was not the right path. I want to keep this video short and concise, because I understand then that I'll get more views if I do. And so I feel that it's very important to convey certain facts about suicide to prevent it. First off, we have the signs and symptoms. People displaying very obvious signs and symptoms of sadness, hopelessness in their comments and how they convey themselves, perhaps even in their body language. You want to be observant of people who are maybe withdrawing from activities and opportunities that once would have brought them a lot of happiness and joy. We want to look for radical shifts in behavior, episodes of them maybe reaching out, perhaps tantrums or anxiety attacks, things of that nature. We want to be particularly observant of people who are going through a difficult time in their life, be it a breakup, the loss of an opportunity, the ending of a journey which they cherished deeply and view as a great loss to not have. And when we observe these symptoms, we want to reach out to people in their lives who could help them. People, generally speaking, of an authority figure. We're talking about teachers, instructors, coaches, spouses, relatives who play a prominent role in their life, so on and so forth. And yes, you do run the risk of them being quite angry with you for a period of time for having done this, but the end result is you will have saved a life, and eventually they will thank you, because they will be alive because of you. I also want to clear up some myths, which I think can also help prevent further suicides. I've spoken to many people who have lost somebody to a suicide, and they have always said that they didn't think what happened in their life because they thought that person was too smart, they were too successful, they were too whatever. Quite literally, suicide is a form of death that has no ability to discriminate. It does not care whether you are black, whether you are white, whether you are older, younger, well-educated, not well-educated. It doesn't care. Literally, every one of us is susceptible to the potential for suicide. So we have to be very vigilant when dealing with this very serious and terminal-like condition, because when you get down to a certain depth of depression, you lose your ability to be objective, and you use your ability to be logical. And you actually become convinced of the fact, quite convinced of the fact, that not only will you be better off by ending your life, but everyone in your life will be better off without you. And as ludicrous as that might sound to somebody who is not suicidal, it makes perfect sense to someone who is suicidal. It's not a matter of weakness. It's a matter of the fact that your thoughts are diluted and contorted so drastically that that's genuinely how you see it. And it is an illness. Depression is a very, very serious illness. We also want to let you know that regardless of where you are in the world, there are suicide hotlines that you can call. They're trained counselors who are there to help you find the path in your life and help you during your deepest and darkest, worst times, and help you then further access other resources to get you well. And on that note, I want to add the fact that I will be going across the country of Canada. I'll be adding on additional dates as well, starting in May, June, and throughout the States and for all of North America for that matter. And then eventually overseas, I will be going around the world and telling my story to help prevent further suicides. And I want to devote this tour to the memory of Terry Trafford. That's something I feel quite strongly about doing, and indeed I will do that. I also want to encourage you to go to my blog to hear and to watch some of the interviews I've done on TV, on radio, and in the newspaper. I've had over 53,000 responses internationally, all over the world, from people all over the world who told me that I either inspired them or somebody they loved to get the help that they needed. And in one case, a Canadian Forces soldier reached out to me and told me that it was in listening to one of my interviews that he was able to find the courage and inspiration to not end his life as he had planned to do so. So I strongly encourage you to visit that site to witness those interviews. I do strongly encourage you also to share this interview on Facebook, to retweet it on Twitter, and get the message out there to help prevent the loss of further lives. Again, I'd like to offer my condolences to the Trafford family and everybody who was blessed enough to have Terry in their life. He's obviously a wonderful young man. He will be missed. Rest in peace, Terry Trafford. You will be missed. I'll see you next time on BTS with Ryan Wickham.